Hello students, this is episode 3 of how to write your thesis statement, and this is tip number 3, your thesis statement must be clear. So you need to be clear with your words to avoid anybody misunderstanding you. And now this is going to have to do with a lot of ambiguous words, but also vague words. For instance, if we had the statement, it is wrong to drink soda, what is vague there? What's ambiguous? Well, you might be able to point out that this idea of wrong is not very clear. What do I actually mean by it's wrong to drink soda? Do I mean that it's morally wrong? Do I just mean that you shouldn't do it? Do I mean that you're encouraged not to? So there's a lot of ways that you can take that statement. It's not clear enough, so you need to be able to avoid that by changing that word out with something else. Or what about one of the previous statements, everyone should exercise? A word like everyone is too vague. It's too broad of a term. Think about it. Who am I actually talking about here? If I say everyone, that means every single person in the world. What about the person that's paralyzed? Obviously, I don't mean them, so I'm not being clear enough. I cannot assume that my readers are going to be able to understand what I mean if I use vague terms. Now, what about a statement like, it is good to read on a consistent basis? Now, you might agree with that, but what do I really mean by good? Do I mean that it's healthy to read on a consistent basis? And if so, what do I mean by healthy? Is it mentally healthy? Is it physically healthy? Is it just something that I think everybody should do? Is it my opinion? Or is it backed by facts? What do I really mean by this? And also, what do I mean by consistent basis? That's kind of vague. Does that mean 1 minute a day? Does that mean 1 minute a week? That's consistent. So there's a lot of vague terms that can be put into your thesis statement that you need to be on the lookout for when you change it up and edit and revise it. This leads to trick number 3. Avoid vague words altogether. Now, these are just some examples. There's a lot more out there. Words like things. What exactly is a thing? Good, bad, many, some, something, very. These are all words that lead to ambiguity or lead to it being very vague, which means your meaning and what you're trying to say is now blurred and people aren't going to understand you as well. So you need to make sure that you avoid vague words in your thesis statement.